G'day, Tristan from More Beer Than Barra. Four-wheel drive touring is very often about being opportunistic and seizing the opportunities when they come along by chance. I'm travelling home to Perth from the Kimberley and Pilbara, and on the way back I got a message from my mate Hilly that he's stopping over for a night at one of our favourite campsites, one of our secret spots. Sorry about the traffic noise. One of our secret spots at Sandy Cape for beautiful spot to get away from everyone, relax and do a bit of fishing for a night. So I've decided I'm going to break my journey up. I'm almost home anyway and only 2 hours away from Perth. I'm going to take one of the tracks out to the secret spot, meet up with Hilly, wet a couple of lines and more importantly enjoy a couple of beers in a beautiful spot. So this is a quick record of the trip to our secret spot at Sandy Cape.
Sandy Cape Recreation Park is located in Western Australia's Midwest region, approximately 250 kilometres or 3 hours drive north of Perth. Whilst there is a main entrance to the park only 10 kilometres north of the township of Jurien Bay, you'll find it no surprise whatsoever that we like to take a lesser known entrance some distance north of the main entrance. The tracks leading in and around the Sandy Cape area are made up of mainly limestone rocks, which can get quite jagged at times, and as the location's namesake suggests, lots of sand. As you get closer to the coast, the drive provides you with some spectacular scenery, including epic sand dunes that appear to go on for as far as the eye can see. In the final stages of the drive, as you approach the coast, you'll encounter some quite steep and challenging climbs as you make your way over a few sand dunes. And these sand dunes are punctuated with quite jagged rocks, as we were saying before. So you have to take care with these to make sure that you don't sustain damage to the car or your tyres.
Right, here's the final climb. Got to be careful over those jagged limestone rocks because they easily puncture your tyre. You don't want to do that midway up a climb, to be honest. But as usual, there's great reward for effort. And there's the Indian Ocean. Not a lot of people. We're very close to the camp spot now. Right. We're less than 1 kilometre from camp now. And I've just stopped at this precipice to see if I can sneak up on Hilly and see what he's doing. So there's his camp, there's his swag, there's his Navara. I can't see him around, he's probably on the beach fishing. Let's go down and join him, eh? So the first thing I do when I arrive at camp these days is get my fold out solar panel set up in a good spot where it's going to get as much of the sun over the day or the afternoon in this case as possible, and connect it to my second battery so that the fridge will keep the beers nice and cold, most importantly, and of course our food, which is almost as important. Light on high voltage, switching between high voltage and charging is telling me that it's doing its job and charging the battery, so that's good.
You'll notice I've collected firewood on the way in, rather than damaging the precious dune vegetation around the camping area near the coast.
Well, this is why we like this spot at Sandy Cape. And as predicted, I found Hilly on the beach fishing with his other mate, Summer. How's it going, mate?
Good, mate.
Nice spot you got here.
Happy days.
Good to see you.
How you going, mate? All good?
Good, mate. So how's the fishing going so far?
Check. Rubbish. One nibble.
Oh, okay.
4 hours.
Any joy last night?
Yeah, good. Last night, some whiting. 6, I think, half a dozen.
6 whiting. Nice one. That would have been a good feed.
Happy days.
Beautiful. I bought some ice
Really?
and I picked up some firewood on the way in. Have we got enough beer, more importantly?
I think so. Well, we got a carton.
Yeah, and I've got half a carton as well. I took the liberty of putting some of those Corona in the esky while I was up here. How's Summer going? Hey, Summer. Good girl. Hey, Summer.
Yeah, this has been lame though.
Yeah.
One nibble.
Maybe this
Oh,
afternoon.
yeah, I'd say it's afternoon.
What a spot to be catching no fish though. So a quick look at our campsite. You can see that there's a little track that leads down to the beach so we can get to the beach to go fishing. But apart from that, we are completely enveloped by sand dunes on all sides. And the bonus of that is that it doesn't matter which direction the wind's coming from. Today it's east-northeasterlies, but we're completely protected from the wind whichever way it comes from. Here's our fireplace, and we'll be using the hot plate, barbecue hot plate, to cook dinner and hopefully cook some massive tailor that we catch off the beach this afternoon. Right, Hilly?
Yep.
See, Hilly's enjoyed a decent fire last night as well. Hilly's camp oven. What'd you cook in the camp oven, mate? Pulled pork. Sounds sensational. Summer's a seasoned camping dog, so she's done lots of camping trips herself. And I think Hilly's camping setup here is possibly the best you can get. This is camping simplified, and in my opinion, that's what makes camping the most enjoyable, when it's really simple and just roll out a swag. What's that? A 2-man Mitchell swag, Hilly? Masses of room, really comfy. About $300. 400. Money well spent anyway, isn't it? And here's Hilly's beast. That's a 2016 Navara, isn't it? 2014 Navara.
5 years old.
5 years. So, and that's taken Hilly some places, all right. Yeah. So what's your favourite part of coming here to camp, Hilly? Why do you like this? Because I know you come here all the time.
Nobody here.
Yeah?
Beautiful. Quiet.
Yeah?
Plenty to do. Great.
Summer has dug herself a hole to sleep in, and she's snoring away. Ultimate camping dog. Cheers, Hilly.
Chink. Thank you.
Well, slow fishing day, but an excellent day for a couple of Coronas and a beautiful coastal view. So, Hilly, apart from keeping ourselves well hydrated, what's the plan of attack for the afternoon of fishing?
Catch some fish.
What sort of rigs, what sort of strategy are we going to use?
Going whiting and you're going big thing. Big fucking...
Big 1% dream,
Yeah.
less than.
Yeah.
Big Taylor.
I'll catch dinner.
Come on, baby. We know you're out there. What sort of rig are you going to use? You will recognise, of course, from Hilly's conversation that he is an expert and pays high attention to detail in the art of setting fishing rigs.
Fire.
Well, sadly, it's been a very slow day in the fishing stakes. Hilly's pulled in one whiting for the day, about 15 centimetres. We got our hopes up, and then nothing. So, pretty bleak day fishing-wise. However, we've enjoyed, a few beers, taking in this amazing view, and we're the only people here today, so that's fantastic. We're just about to watch the sunset over the Indian Ocean, which is a uniquely West Australian experience as well. So we're looking forward to that. It's starting to look like we're having sausages for dinner rather than the tailor or whiting that we were hoping to have. So there's worse places to be when you're not catching fish. Righto, success. Hilly has pulled in a fairly decent tailor. So let's have a close up of the old, not a bad tailor.
Unfortunately, when we check the size limits, tailor need to be 35 centimetres minimum to keep. So unfortunately, Hilly had to let this one go back to the ocean to grow for another day.
So back at camp after what started as a very slow day of fishing, accelerated in the late afternoon to a crescendo, in which Mr. Hill here hauled in, was it 4 whiting all up, and 1 tailor. What a decent tailor. You happy with that effort today, Mr. Hill?
Very good. Food.
This is what it's all about, really. Have an awesome day, and then you just sit around with your mates around the campfire and chill and reminisce.
Sadly, I had to be back in Perth early the next day, so there wasn't time for much more in the morning other than packing up and heading back out the same track we went in, and then making the final push home on the blacktop, which will take about 3 hours. So that's the end of our spontaneous overnight camping trip to Sandy Cape. This trip is quite a simple trip for anyone who happens to live in Perth, or if you happen to be visiting that area and you have access to a 4-wheel drive. It only takes limited preparation and there's not massive commitments in terms of time and fuel. Before I go, big thanks to Michael Hill and Summer for joining me on what proved to be another epic trip to Sandy Cape. And also big thanks to Andrew and Adriana, who went out of their way to help me when I finally got back to Perth after being away for so many weeks. I needed a bit of help and they went out of their way to give it to me. Keep an eye out for future More Beer Than Barra productions. There'll be more coming up very shortly. All the best. See you later.